Hi, my name is Jerome. This image best represents my struggle to shed the effects of being indoctrinated into a high-control religious group. The videos posted on this channel, as well as articles on the associated website, preachfromthehousetops.com, are the results of my personal study of the Bible. I personally benefit from reviewing them so much that I thought they might benefit you as well. They are not intended as a way to draw followers to myself. Persons belonging to any religion that believes it alone has the truth are normally taught to understand and relate scriptures to one another according to a strict doctrinal framework that has been pre-selected by the organization. This has the effect of stifling the ability of individual members when reading the Bible for themselves to arrive at the original author's intention, preventing them from arriving at anything other than a conclusion that has been predetermined by the religious organization they belong to. In order to counteract this when reading the Bible, we need to learn to think outside the box. Here's a puzzle that illustrates what I mean. Try and connect all 9 dots in this puzzle with just 4 straight lines. Here are a few examples of how some would try and solve the puzzle. Notice that with each attempt, 1 dot is missed. The problem is that our minds build a box around the dots, which limits what we can imagine. The only way to connect all 9 dots with just 4 straight lines is to go outside the box. God's word is written for each individual. We must not allow a box drawn by any person or organization to limit the understanding we personally can gain from it. That is the aim of this channel. If you find the information I share helpful, please like and subscribe to get notification of future videos. Some have asked me why I use various AI voiceovers on my channel. Am I embarrassed about the quality of my own voice? Do I have something to hide? Why don't I just record myself in front of a camera? What am I afraid of? These are all valid questions, and if you have asked yourself these things, you deserve an answer. In Psalm 26, verse 4, King David says, "I do not associate with deceitful men, and I avoid those who hide what they are." Regarding this verse, the May 15th, 2006 Watchtower says on page 20, "We are wise to avoid association with those who hide their identity in internet chat rooms, those at school or at our place of work who pretend to be our friends for devious reasons, apostates who put on a mask of sincerity, and those who live a double life."
Now, not many of our brothers and sisters would deliberately get involved with apostates, but it could happen without our realizing it. We receive letters at times from brothers and sisters who are troubled by something they saw on a web page, an accusation, a rumor about the society or about the organization. And the problem is, they had no idea that apostates were behind it. It's tricky, because the apostates don't advertise, "You are now on an apostate web page." They often pose as sincere witnesses who just have questions or concerns. Suppose that, out of curiosity, you get into a discussion forum with individuals who claim to be Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. You don't know. You've never met them. And someone starts asking questions. What did you think of last month's broadcast? Did you really find it encouraging? Or do you think the brothers who write Watchtower articles are living in the real world? I wonder if they realize just how hard it is out here. And then a few others join in with their own negative comments. Now, you don't know whether these individuals are apostates or just brothers and sisters who are in serious spiritual trouble. But does it matter? How does it make you feel? When you leave the forum, do you feel upbuilt? Determined to expand your ministry? More convinced than ever that Jehovah has an organization that you love and that you're delighted to be a part of. You feel honored to be a part of that organization. Or does the experience leave you sad, uneasy, uncomfortable?
Obviously, this is not an internet chat room in which I pretend to be a sincere witness with the aim of luring others away from the religion, but it is a channel that is openly critical of the Watchtower organization. As the introduction to this video explains, I am a former member of Jehovah's Witnesses. In their literature, the Watchtower Society strongly cautions its members from having anything to do with former members that are critical of the organization. This is the type of person they refer to as an apostate. But was David concerned with those who hide who they are? No. He avoided those who were deceitful, those who hide what they are. Being openly critical about the Watchtower Society might make me an apostate, but it doesn't make me deceitful. Regarding those who question why the translators of the New World Translation desired to remain anonymous, the Watchtower of September 15, 1950, said, "The men who compose the translation committee have indicated their desire to remain anonymous and specifically do not want their names to be published while they are in life or after death. The purpose of the translation is to exalt the name of the living, true God." Some critics charged that the work should be summarily dismissed as the product of amateurs, but not all took such an unreasonable stance. Writes Alan S. Duthie, "If we know who the translators or the publishers of a particular Bible translation are, does it help us to decide whether that translation is good or bad? Not directly. There is no substitute for examining the characteristics of each translation itself." Why can't the same be applied to this YouTube channel? Rather than focusing on the identity of the author, why not just judge based on an objective evaluation of the content? But that still doesn't answer the question, why do I not just reveal myself? The answer to that goes back to the way the organization would have its members treat those that are critical of the organization. On the official jw.org website, in the FAQ section, the following topic is addressed. Do Jehovah's Witnesses shun former members of their religion? The very first answer given to this question is, those who were baptized as Jehovah's Witnesses but no longer preach to others, perhaps even drifting away from association with fellow believers, are not shunned. In fact, we reach out to them and try to rekindle their spiritual interest. A separate FAQ on the website addresses a different, although related question. What if a person no longer preaches or attends your meetings? Do you view that person as having resigned? The answer? No, we do not. Resigning or disassociating oneself is different from becoming weak in faith. Often, those who for a time slow down or stop in their worship have not abandoned their faith but are suffering from discouragement. Rather than shunning such ones, we try to give them consolation and support. If the person wants help, congregation elders take the lead in providing spiritual assistance. However, the elders are not authorized to coerce or pressure someone to remain as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Each person makes his own choice regarding religion. We believe that those who worship God must do so willingly, from the heart. It certainly sounds nice to hear them say that the elders are not authorized to coerce or pressure someone to remain as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. But the fact of the matter is, persons that merely become inactive are still considered members of the religion and are subject to the rules and disciplinary actions of the organization. Differing with the leadership regarding biblical interpretation is not allowed. If such an inactive person were to publicly point out inaccuracies in the teachings or criticize policies or direction coming from the organization, the consequences of that would be all of his friends and family members that remain in the organization would be required to shun him. So while it is true on the one hand that a person is not coerced to remain in the religion, on the other hand, he must remain quiet if he wants to preserve contact with those that choose to remain. If my activity on this channel were to become known to the elders of the congregation where I live, this is what I would be faced with. But contrary to how witnesses are taught to view inactive persons, I have not become weak in faith, nor am I suffering from discouragement. I still profess belief in God and consider myself a Christian. If anything, I guess you could say that my situation is similar to Joseph of Arimathea. In his gospel account, the Apostle John had this to say about him. Now after these things, Joseph of Arimathea, who was a disciple of Jesus but a secret one because of his fear of the Jews, asked Pilate if he could take away the body of Jesus, and Pilate gave him permission. So he came and took the body away. John 19:38. While I may not be coerced or pressured to remain one of Jehovah's Witnesses, like Joseph, I am pressured to not openly identify myself as a Christian apart from the Watchtower organization. If you are still one of Jehovah's Witnesses, how does it make you feel to learn how the organization treats those that sincerely want to follow what their conscience tells them God requires?
Do you feel upbuilt? Determined to expand your ministry? More convinced than ever that Jehovah has an organization that you love and that you're delighted to be a part of. You feel honored to be a part of that organization.
Mr. Jack, you were baptized at age 13, am I right?
I certainly was, yes.
And there are, in fact, many Jehovah's Witnesses who are baptized at an age even younger than that.
There have been some I have met that have been baptized younger.
And do you consider that at that age, someone is old enough and mature enough to make a decision affecting the rest of their lives?
Yes, I do in some cases. Obviously, there are some children that wouldn't be able to make that decision. And perhaps someone would question whether I could make that decision at 13 years of age. But I've worked with people that have been baptized when they were 11, and they have stuck by that determination their whole life.
Well, that may be because they can't leave the organization without leaving behind everyone whom they know.
Anything is possible.
You see, let's take someone who's baptized at a young age and then as lie elsewhere, and they want to choose some other system of belief. They're then still going to be faced with a stark choice that we've identified, aren't they?
That's true.
So on that basis, I suggest to you that that policy and practice of your organization is in conflict with the Jehovah's Witnesses' belief, as you've said it is, in freedom of religious choice.
And no, we don't see it that way, but you're entitled to your opinion.
And do you accept that putting people to that choice makes your organization, in many respects, a captive organization?
I do not accept that at all.